I guess we got to start with Kenny Payne.
Yes, we do. The Cards had a home game against Pitt last Saturday. They needed to win. They got one coming up against NC State that now they definitely need to win. But with no Dennis Evans, his career is over at Louisville. No J.J. Traynor, his season is over. Louisville has to find some way to create an identity for this team moving forward.
Yeah, they got to find a lot. And, J.J. Traynor, we didn't talk a whole lot about his absence and its effect on the team, and because we just thought he was going to be back the next game. We just kept thinking he was close to that, and he was preparing to play when he re-injured the shoulder. Now it's going to require surgery, but he's 10 points. He was a spark off the bench. He played good defense. He was a guy that brought energy to this team and had been getting to be more consistent. So that's a loss for the Cardinals. Where do they turn? I'm looking. They don't have anybody that's a knockdown shooter. They don't have anybody to go to from a shooting standpoint. They don't defend you very well because you start to look at what can teams do when they're down to manufacture wins. One of the things is junk the game up, get it to be a real big defensive struggle. They're not any good defensively. That's a problem. I don't know where you turn. I do tend to think they need to generate more steals, try and generate more easy offense. But I don't know. It's hard to find. You're not gonna get any personnel answers right now because you can't go out and recruit in the middle of January.
No, you can't. But, I mean, they do have to find some kind of identity, whether it is to up the intensity on defense, whether it's to play more zone defense, whether it's to extend the defense. Find some way to engage these players defensively. And offensively, I agree with you. One thing that's a struggle, they don't get enough easy baskets. They don't push the pace. They don't try and score in transition. There seem to be a number of times on offense when they come down, dribble the ball around or pass the ball around on the perimeter and don't really look towards attacking until you're more than halfway through the shot clock. They're not good enough offensively and don't have a consistent enough post game to do that.
No, and they don't really have a guy that, a year ago they had a guy that could score 30 if he had to, and LLs did a couple times. Closest they've got to that right now, I guess, is Mike James. He's a really good player. He's done a good job driving the basket. He can hit an open three. They don't have anybody that you can count on and say this guy's going to hit 3 or 4 3-pointers. The stuff you would usually look toward with a team, they don't have it. I just think, when Louisville presses, they're not really pressing with intent. They're just slowing teams down. They don't force turnovers. I think that might be a place to look. They're going to have to start getting some steals and get more aggressive defensively and see if they can make that part of their identity.
Yeah, internally, play Caleb Glenn, play Curtis Williams. They're the future. They both have potential. Curtis Williams can score. Caleb Glenn can fill in a lot of different lines on the stat sheet. He had his best game of the year against Pitt when he had 10 points and a bunch of good rebounds. Throw him out there and develop him.
Yeah, it's hard to see. It's hard to see where the fixes are for this team because there's nothing they do even exceptionally well to build around that and disguise weaknesses or whatever. The weaknesses have not thus far been disguised.